Namaskar. Hope you are good and utilizing your time to learn new things. Students, we are back with the second part of chapter 2, that is forest and wildlife resources. In part 1 of this chapter, we talked about biodiversity, flora and fauna, categories of plants and animal species, factors or causes of depletion of flora and fauna. Today, in this session, we'll be talking about conservation of forests and wildlife. We'll also talk about the role of communities in conserving the forest resources. Do you really feel that conservation is important today to maintain biodiversity and ecological balance? Yes, it is very important because it supports the life system. Let us start with the chapter. Students, do you feel that conservation of forests and wildlife in India is essential? Why? Yes, conservation is very important because conservation preserves the ecological diversity and our life support systems, water, air, and soil. Conservation also preserves the genetic diversity of plants and animals for better growth of species and breeding. For example, in agriculture, we are still dependent on traditional crop varieties. Fisheries too are dependent on the maintenance of aquatic biodiversity. In the 1960s and 70s, conservationists demanded a national wildlife protection program. The Indian Wildlife Act was implemented in 1972 with various provisions for protecting habitats. Under this act, an All India list of protected species was published. The program focused on protecting the remaining population of endangered species by banning hunting, giving legal protection to their habitats, and restricting trade in wildlife. Central and many state governments established national parks and wildlife sanctuaries. Several projects were announced by central government for protecting specific animals which are under grave threat. These animals include the tiger, the one-horned rhinoceros, the Kashmir stag or hangul, 3 types of crocodiles: freshwater crocodile, saltwater crocodile, and the gharial, the Asiatic lion, etc. The Indian elephant, black buck or chinkara, the great Indian bustard, godawan, and the snow leopard, etc. And the snow leopard have been given full or partial legal protection against hunting and trade throughout India. Here, I would like to mention Project Tiger. Project Tiger is one of the well-publicized wildlife campaigns in the world, and it was launched in 1973. Tiger is one of the key wildlife species in the faunal web. In 1973, the authorities realized tiger population has come down to 1,827 from an estimated 55,000 at the turn of the century. The major threats to tiger population are poaching for trade, depletion of prey-based species, shrinking habitat, growing human population, etc. The trade of tiger skins and the use of tiger bones in the traditional medicines, especially in the Asian countries, are also responsible for bringing tigers on the verge of extinction. India and Nepal provide habitat to about 2/3 of the surviving tiger population in the world, and these two nations became prime targets for poaching and illegal trading. Under Project Tiger, tiger conservation has been viewed as an effort to save tigers. Some of the important tiger reserves in India are Corbett National Park in Uttarakhand, Sundarbans National Park in West Bengal, Bandhavgarh National Park in Madhya Pradesh, Sariska Wildlife Sanctuary in Rajasthan, Manas Tiger Reserve in Assam, and Periyar Tiger Reserve in Kerala. The conservation projects are now focusing on biodiversity rather than on a few of its components. Now, even insects are beginning to find a place in conservation planning. In the notification under Wildlife Act of 1980 and 1986, several hundred butterflies, moths, beetles, and one dragonfly have been added to the list of protected species. Now, we will talk about the types and distribution of forest and wildlife resources. India, most of the forests and wildlife resources are either owned or managed by the government through the Forest Department or other government departments. The forests are classified under the following categories: reserved forests, protected forests, unclassed forests. First of all, we will talk about reserved forests. More than half of the total forest land has been declared reserved forests. Reserved forests are regarded as the most valuable as far as the conservation of forest and wildlife resources are concerned. Jammu and Kashmir, Andhra Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, West Bengal, and Maharashtra have large percentages of reserved forests of its total forest area. Protected forests, almost 1/3 of the total forest area is protected forests as declared by the Forest Department. Bihar, Haryana, Punjab, Himachal Pradesh, Odisha, and Rajasthan have a large area under protected forests. unclassed forests. These forests are other forests and wastelands which belong to both government and private individuals and communities. All northeastern states and parts of Gujarat have a very high percentage of their forests as unclassed forests managed by local communities. Reserved and protected forests are also referred to as permanent forest estates maintained for the purpose of producing timber and other forest produce. Madhya Pradesh has the largest area under permanent forests, constituting 75% of its total forest area. Now, let us talk about the role of community and conservation. Forests in India are also home to some of the traditional communities. In some areas of India, local communities are struggling to conserve these habitats along with government officials, as they feel that only conservation will secure their long-term livelihood. In Sariska Tiger Reserve, Rajasthan, villagers have fought against mining by citing the Wildlife Protection Act. In many areas, villagers are protecting habitats and rejecting government involvement. In the Alwar district of Rajasthan, the inhabitants of 5 villages have declared 1200 hectares of forests as the Bhairodev Dakar Sanctuary. They have declared their own set of rules and regulations in this area, and they do not allow hunting in this area. They are also protecting the wildlife against outside encroachments. The famous Chipko Movement in the Himalayas has successfully resisted deforestation in several areas. The movement has shown that community afforestation with local species can be very successful. Farmers and citizen groups like the Beej Bachao Andolan in Tehri and Navdanya have also successfully shown that adequate levels of diversified crop production without using synthetic chemicals is possible and economically viable. Do you know something about Joint Forest Management Program in India? This program is a good example for involving local communities in the management and restoration of degraded forests. The Joint Forest Management Program formally started in 1988 when the state of Odisha passed the first resolution for joint forest management. The joint forest management depends on the formation of local institutions that undertake protection activities mostly for degraded forest land, which is managed by Forest Department. In return, the members of these communities get benefits like non-timber forest produces and share in the timber harvested by successful protection. Also, the nature worship is an age-old tribal belief based on the fact that all creations of nature have to be protected. Such beliefs of Indians have preserved several virgin forests which are called sacred groves, that is, the forests of God and goddesses. These patches of forests, which have been declared as sacred groves, have been left untouched by the local people, and also the outer interference in these forests is banned. Certain societies worship a particular tree which they have preserved from time immemorial. The Mundas and the Santhal of Chota Nagpur region worship Mahua, Kadamba trees. Similarly, the tribals of Odisha and Bihar worship the tamarind and mango during weddings. You must have seen around you many people worship the banyan and peepal trees and consider them sacred trees. Did you know that there are some species of trees in India which are so rare that there are claims of having only a couple of them existing? Some of these endangered trees are Ilex khasiana, which is found in Shillong, Meghalaya, red sandalwood in Eastern Ghats, ebony in Karnataka, and musli in Tamil Nadu. According to scientists, 40% of insect species are likely to become extinct globally in the coming years. Till now we have done conservation of forests and wildlife in India, types and distribution of forests and wildlife resources, role of community in conservation. And now it's time for a joyful activity. The names of some places are being shown on your TV screen. The names are Manipur, Arunachal Pradesh, Andaman, Himachal Pradesh, Kashmir, Gangetic Plains, River Ganges. Now what we have to do? We have to place the animals shown on the screen at the place where they are found or were found in the past. Let us start. Hangul in Kashmir, wild boar in Andaman, Sengai in Manipur, Mithun, Arunachal Pradesh, blue sheep, Himachal Pradesh, pink-headed duck in the Gangetic Plains, and dolphin in the river Ganges. One more exercise. In this exercise, we have to match the names of bird or wildlife sanctuaries with the states where they are located. The names of the states are Kerala, West Bengal, Gujarat, and Arunachal Pradesh. So let us start. First of all is Eagle Nest Wildlife Sanctuary. So it is located in Arunachal Pradesh. Eagle Nest Wildlife Sanctuary is a protected area of India in the Himalayan foothills of West Kamang district of Arunachal Pradesh. It is a prime birding site and derives its name from Red Eagle Division of the Indian Army. Next is Nal Sarovar Sanctuary. Nal Sarovar Bird Sanctuary is in Gujarat. It is mainly inhabited by migratory birds as their wintering ground. It is the largest wetland bird sanctuary in Gujarat. Next is Chintamani Kar. It is a bird sanctuary situated in West Bengal. The sanctuary is famous for availability of wide variety of birds, butterflies, ferns and orchids. Kumarakom Bird Sanctuary. It is in Kerala on the banks of Vambananth Lake. It is a vibrant hub of migratory birds from Himalayas and Siberia. Before I conclude today's session, I would like to recite a poem composed by a student. It's a beautiful poem conveying a meaningful message to all of us. जीवन का आधार वृक्ष है, धरती का श्रृंगार वृक्ष है, प्राण वायु दे रहे सभी को, ऐसे परम उदार वृक्ष हैं। ईश्वर के अनुदान वृक्ष हैं, फल फूलों की खान वृक्ष हैं। मूल्यवान औषधियां देते ऐसे दिव्य महान वृक्ष हैं। देते शीतल छांव वृक्ष हैं, रोके थकते पांव वृक्ष हैं। लाखों जीव बसेरा करते जैसे सुंदर गांव वृक्ष हैं। जीव जगत की भूख मिटाते ये सुंदर फलदार वृक्ष हैं। जीवन का आधार वृक्ष हैं, धरती का श्रृंगार वृक्ष हैं। That's all for today. Take care and stay happy. Namaskar.